privatize Social Security. And we all did what we're doing today times 1,000 to try and stop that, and we're successful. The proposal was public, the president was promoting it, and we knew very clearly who our enemy was, and we rallied and fought as we should, and we beat it down. This time, the proposals are much more undercover, much more insidious. Under the guise of trying to deal with our national deficit, which was not created by Social Security. Social Security has not added one penny to the national debt, ever. It has made its payments to people every month for 75 years through its own fund that we all contributed to when we were working. And as I tell people, you all can thank me later, maybe give me an extra piece of cake, because I'm paying for those of you who are currently receiving Social Security. How many people here now get Social Security? So you can thank me because I'm working and I'm still paying into it, and I paid for you. And our goal here today is to make sure that my kids will still be getting Social Security and will be paying into it for me so that I can retire sometime. This is really a family program. This commission that the president established, the Deficit Commission, which is supposed to be looking at how to balance our budget by 2015, has a lot to look at in terms of how we spend our money. Social Security is not one of the things that should be on the table.
Amen.
Because it doesn't contribute 1 cent to that deficit. Things like war, corporate bailout. Now that is what we should be looking at to solve our deficit problem, not Social Security. Tax cuts for the rich, exactly. And you know, we're fighting this at the state level too, as we struggle with a very difficult budget again this year. Why are we looking at cutting those programs that are the poorest, frailest folks depend on, instead of closing some of the corporate loopholes? It's no different at the national level, and we need to be organized and speaking in one voice. I think that today's event is really important for a couple of reasons. One is that we have a big job to do. This commission, established by our president, is like I said, very insidious. And people don't know what's going on, yet their recommendations are scheduled to be presented to the Congress on December 1st. So we have a really big job to do. We need to be talking not just to each other and those other Social Security beneficiaries, but to our kids and our grandkids and our church members and our community group members and everybody else, because this is actually a generational issue. And I know that a lot of younger people, my age, I'm not that young, but people younger than me, have already been convinced that Social Security is not going to be there for them. And if Social Security isn't going to be there for them, what do they think will be? Their 401k? Well, we have already seen what happens when you invest your retirement security into the private sector. Some people, yes, have gotten quite rich off of that, but most of us who have very little to invest in the first place have gotten sunk. And Social Security is the only thing that we have to depend on. So we have to tell our kids and our grandkids and their kids that if you want Social Security to be there for you, because you're paying for it now, then you have to fight for it. And you have to fight harder than you've ever fought for anything in your life. Yeah. Right? There are petitions on the table. Everybody should take one. Take 2. Take 10. And take them to your family gatherings, to your church, to your community group, your book club, wherever you go. Because we're going to need to collect those and bring them to our members of Congress so that when this commission finishes its work, if they have proposals to cut Social Security, and they could cut it in many ways, the most popular proposal that many Democrats are currently supporting, not just Republicans, is raising the retirement age. That is a benefit cut. That means that those of us who work on our feet, who actually know what a day's work means, not those who sit with their feet on a desk, whose bodies aren't going to be able to keep working until we're 70, They want us to be able to work until we're 70 or beyond. That is not a solution. Social Security is absolutely trustworthy. It's solid until 2037. And if we did one small thing, a thing that the president actually proposed when he was a senator and now has seemed to forget about now that he's president, is if we lifted the cap on earned income that could be taxed, which right now is at $106,000. If we lifted that cap, Social Security would then be solvent through the rest of the century. That's one small thing. Meanwhile, it's good to go until 2037 without making any adjustments, and we need to tell our elected officials to keep their hands off Social Security. So let's say that a few times. Hands off Social Security. Hands off Social Security. Hands off Social Security. Hands off Social Security. So please, I beg you all to make a pledge right now. The best birthday present you can give Social Security on the 75th year is to take some petitions with you when you leave today and get folks to sign it. And as we schedule meetings with our members of Congress to get them to pledge to support Social Security and keep their hands off, you can be part of making sure that that happens. Thank you very much.